Right, so you joined me outside today. I meant to do this like a few days ago, but the weather kind of didn't play ball. Windy mostly. It was really nice weather, but windy, so it would have been loads of wind noise even with this dead cat thing on. There's a few problems with doing this outdoors other than the weather. One, carrying this camera, it's like it's not massive, it's flipping heavy when you're holding it at full arm's length out there. So I'm not going to do this walking and talking bit for long. It's uphill most of this walk out. You can hear that goose going over there. See if you can see him. There he is. Just done one lap. Yeah, it's uphill, so I'm going to get properly out of breath. So my arm's going to be knackered. I'm going to be out of breath. Might well fall over. I'm just going over some rocky bits there. The biggest problem of all, though, is the potential of meeting someone. I might be quite comfortable these days chatting in front of the camera, on Sling Mountain. That's okay. Talking in front of random people whilst holding this camera out at arm's length, not so cool with that yet. I'm not sure I ever will be cool with that. I hope I'm in frame as well. I'm kind of trying to keep the camera up and my arms flagging already. Today's video, it's going to be a little bit about like the positives of lockdown. There's that goose going over again. Got higher pitch. Oh no, there's his mate. There's two geese now. You can hear both of them. It's like the positives of lockdown from my point of view, of course, yeah. And maybe a little bit about just the outdoor industry and how I kind of view it in terms of what it's going to look like when we can get back to work properly. Some people in England are already working on a sort of one-to-one, but not necessarily that sustainable. That my arm is knackered. So yeah, it'll be obviously from my point of view, because that's all I can give really. So what I'm going to do is keep wandering and find a spot I can set the camera up on the little tripod. I'm going to swap hands now. There we go, bit of a wobble. Yeah, set the tripod up and have a bit of a chat about that. Hey, so welcome to the outdoor video. Found a nice spot that I think is out of the wind, so hopefully the sound won't be too bad. Just moving that microphone a little bit. I think it's sheltered here. I think I'm not in too much of a visible spot either, because there is a few people wandering around up here. It's a nice spot for a stroll and enjoy the view and that, but we should be alright, because that's my biggest worry, properly self-conscious about being caught, in inverted commas, chatting to a camera in the middle of the hills. Don't know if you'll see the boy, he might be wandering around a little bit. Snowden in the background, you might be able to see it a little bit. It's I'm not sure if I got the aperture right. It's really hard to do outside, but we'll see how it goes. So apologies if the quality isn't quite as good as it should be. Slate quarries, the lake and everything, a spot. I just wanted to waffle on a little bit about kind of what I've enjoyed about lockdown, because I think for me it's been a pretty positive experience. And also, I have been asked by some people my opinion on like the outdoor industry and how it's going to look post-lockdown and stuff like that. And I will give my opinion on it, and it's simply just that, it's my opinion. I have really enjoyed the lockdown period though, and I don't want to sound crass for that, because I'm well aware that it's been a terrible thing. Corona in general, flipping a mad number of people losing their lives from it, and people being massively affected by it. So yeah, I just want to temper it with that as well, but at an individual level, there's loads I've enjoyed about it. And so I'm talking about sort of lockdown rather than the whole big picture, if that makes sense, because I don't want to be unsympathetic about it, because it's a horrible situation for a lot of people. In my little bubble, I haven't really been that affected. I know a couple of people who have had it and have gotten over it. Obviously you worry about my mum, because she's much older and down south and stuff, but she's been fine as well, so that's all good. So really the only effect on me has been the lack of work, right? For obvious reasons, the lockdown and stuff. And it's changed a lot of what I do. Weekly shopping, for example, we will have to queue when we go to the weekly shop now, But weekly shopping, I've quite enjoyed that, going and doing a proper shop and thinking about food for the week and everything, rather than just that modern way of doing things of just nipping into the shop like virtually every day and stuff. So I've definitely enjoyed that. The biggest thing I've enjoyed about it is like the time I've had. That might sound a bit silly because I have 3 months off every winter to go climbing in Spain, so I only work 9 months of the year. But the difference is, you might hear that peacock there go mad. The difference is, even in Spain, which is completely personal climbing, there's no work involved at all. There's always a focus to the day of, climbing hard, hitting, getting that route done, hitting that certain grade. Even on rest days, there's still a focus to it, making sure you eat well and have plenty of rest ready for the next day and stuff. And I absolutely enjoy it, and it's completely, like I say, selfish climbing. There's no work going on. But the lockdown period, obviously, I can't go climbing, can't go to work. I filled it with a lot of videos, as you guys know, and that's been ace. But just having the time and stuff has been a right novelty. I've never had this extended break from climbing. Certainly haven't had this extended enforced break from work, right? So it has been interesting times. I've tried to keep some structure by getting up at a reasonable time each day, and the videos have been a proper gift to me, and I hope they've been useful for people watching. But on the occasional day when I haven't done one, I've kind of thought to myself, what on earth would I have done for this last 2 months if I hadn't been doing the videos? Because I've really enjoyed doing them, and they've been a lot of work, and they've been a challenge, like in a good way, a cerebral challenge. So I've filled my time making the videos, watching a lot of other videos as well, and not very many, to be honest, but the occasional one of people doing similar stuff to me, market research or something. There's some really good stuff out there, some rubbish as well, obviously. I did, maybe this one's in the middle somewhere. My videos in general, not this one particularly. But that's been interesting, and you take little bits, don't you, of what you like and what you don't like. But actually, for the most part, I've been just watching other videos. I'm into my cars, so I've been watching car videos. I'm into photography, so I've been watching those videos, and I've just been kind of trying to learn stuff from all of that that I've watched about how I should deliver my stuff, and that's been really interesting. So people have asked if I'm going to continue doing the videos post lockdown, and yeah, I hope so. Obviously I probably won't have the time to do so many, but yeah, I hope so. It's been great. I've really enjoyed doing it, and partly it's marketing kind of stuff as well, getting the brand name out there as well, isn't it? And it's had a really good effect in that sense. So that's been great to have the time to do that. It's been great just to have time to do my regular photography. I've been into photography for years purely as a keen amateur, but to have the time to come out, and instead of having that camera on like aperture priority, switch it to full manual and take the time to compose the shot and play with the settings until got something I'm happy with, and then more time for editing than when I get back home as well. It's been amazing. I've loved that. The boy, it's probably been a challenge for him because he comes to work every day with me. I don't think you can see him, but he's just lying down there at the moment. He comes to work every day, so he's out and about, and it's probably been a bit difficult for him as being at home and just coming out for the hour or two every day, as we have been doing. He seems to have enjoyed it though, and I've cut his food down a little bit to try keep him from piling on the lockdown pounds. But yeah, like I say, that time has been great, and it's led me to kind of plan out, not so much this year because I think it's going to be a funny rest of the year, even if lockdown ends for Wales tomorrow, which it won't, but planning out next year and working out how many days I want to work to earn a wage I'm happy with. And it's a lot less than what I have been doing previous years. I've been in the outdoor industry since I was 18, so 20 years now, long flipping time. And although I have the winter off, the rest of the year work really flipping hard, and work a lot of days to the detriment of sort of my own climbing and not my health as such, but I do get knackered, right, during those summer months, as many other instructors do. And I'm definitely better than others at taking some time off for sure, but I'm going to take more time off, and it's not necessarily going to mean less courses running. I've got a few instructors that are friends and I know do a really good job that I employ and have done over the years, just here and there when I've needed other stuff, and I'm going to use them a little bit more, so all the courses really will still be run by me, but just have other people coming in. And I think that's a really good thing anyway, because you get different opinions from mine during courses. So I've done a bit more planning on that. And it's been really interesting to work out how many days I actually am going to work, and I'm really excited by that, and I'm really excited by sort of improving that balance a bit more and getting more time for climbing, but also a bit more time that'll still be work, but like doing these videos, for example, because I don't want to stop doing them. I've enjoyed them too much, so I will keep doing them, just won't be quite the volume that I'm doing now, and so that will take up some time as well, and by working less days out there, I'll have more days doing this kind of thing, hopefully more interesting than these videos. It's not all been positive though, you know. Obviously I'm earning a lot less. They got me a government grant the other day, which was a massive bonus. Wasn't really expecting anything when this all started, so yeah, that's definitely a bonus. It's, you know, it's not at the level that I would have earned during these 3 months, because this is prime time, and the way it's worked out, it was always going to be a lot less than what I would actually earn, but you know, that's the way it goes. I'm flipping grateful for the money I've got, thankfully, because I've been doing it a long time, this work. I've got a reasonable buffer, so I've never really been stressed on the money front. Yeah, I am massively grateful of that though, because I know a lot of people will be super stressed about it. You know, I haven't got kids and stuff like that, so that makes my life a lot less stressful in that sense. And you know, it'd be nice to buy a new computer, especially for all this editing stuff, to make that go a bit more smoothly and be a bit easier, but it's just not the sensible thing to do. You have to engage your sensible brain every now and then, don't you? I meant to learn, or you know, kept on learning the Spanish with this extra time, haven't been able to do that. Yeah, I could have done. When people say, like me, I say I haven't got the time, I could have made the time, couldn't I? But there's only so many things I can sort of wrap my brain around at once, and these videos have been pretty time consuming, but like I say, super enjoyable. The training's been great though. This year I wanted to up the training to 4 sessions a week from 3 in previous years, and this lockdown has enabled that to happen, so I haven't missed a single session. 4 sessions a week in 4-week blocks. Every 5th week's a rest week, and I've just completed like 2 blocks, so that's ace. Helps form a habit, doesn't it? Of course it's going to be harder when work starts again and proper climbing starts again, to get that balance right, but I feel like I've formed the habit, so I've been really happy with that. I guess the second part of the video is what I wanted to do is just sort of briefly chat about just the outdoor industry in general, and this is purely from my point of view, and my little bubble is, as you probably know, all this mountaineering and climbing instructor work. So it's learn to lead courses, it's RCI courses, ML courses, bits of other random stuff, but that's the bulk of it. What it isn't these days, it isn't doing big residentials with groups of kids, it isn't doing Duke of Edinburgh expeditions. A lot of experience of that in the past, but not anymore. And those are the areas that I think will be really more affected than my work. Residential, you know, that poses its own problems at the moment. Schools not going back yet, that's obviously problems, and that's a big area of employment in the outdoor industry. So although it might not directly affect me, in turn it does, because if there's less people working in that area of the market, then there's less people wanting to do their RCI, their ML and those things, so that might have an effect on me. I have got an idea of how I can kind of help on the ML and RCI course front, perhaps. I won't say any more than that for now, but you know, some people obviously can't afford those courses, and perhaps I'm in a position to do something a little bit ultralistic to help that. So we'll see what we can do at some point, but I'll give more details of that when the time is appropriate. But yeah, it's nice to give something back sometimes, isn't it? I'm still getting a lot of emails, inquiries and stuff like that, so for me, I feel like the demand is still there for my kind of work, so I'm not really worried. This year is going to be funny, of course it is, because people have got less money if they've not been working, and travel restrictions, etc, etc. But in all honesty, assuming I can still go to Spain, which looks like I should be able to, looking at the news and stuff, when I sort of come back and start work next year in March, I don't honestly see it being a massive difference from other regular years. There's some challenges, of course there is. Keeping 2 meters distance multi-pitch climbing, not going to happen, is it? Not touching the same holds, not touching the same kit. To me that just seems like a bit of an impossibility, so my take on it is there just needs to be a sort of a higher form of risk acceptance from, you know, myself and participants as well, because we can't get rid of the risk. And I'm not a flipping coronavirus expert, I'm a climbing instructor, so I'm not going to go too far into that, but for me, yeah, there's things we can do to minimise the risk, for sure there is, but there also has to be a higher level of risk accepted in regards to transmission and stuff like that. But like I say, the inquiries are still coming thick and fast, and the bookings are still coming thick and fast. I couldn't go a whole video without some sheep bleating away. I don't know if you can see them walking down the road. So for me, the demand is still there. Will there be less instructors? The whole supply and demand balance. I'm not convinced there will be, really. I know of a lot of people who have had to go and get other jobs, be that Tesco and hospitals or whatever, but I don't see that they won't come back to the outdoor industry. I'm sure there's some people that won't do, but you could argue the market was pretty flipping flooded with instructors anyway, so in terms of the market, not on a personal sense, but in terms of the market, is that a negative? Probably not really. In terms of a personal sense, yeah, of course, is it for them to leave the industry could be a really sad thing, couldn't it? Because it's a great industry to be involved in. So it will be interesting for sure. But yeah, I don't really expect my sort of numbers to change in demand wise. But that's just my take on it. Doing this video, I don't even know what month it is. It's May, isn't it? If it's next April or something, I might be sat here doing a video going, crikey, where's all the work? There's just no demand because people have got no money from all this time of unemployment and stuff. So I could be completely wrong, but I like to be positive about these things. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of work to go around. Right, so I feel there's probably like shed loads of waffle there. The sun's coming out now, which has probably affected the lighting on that. It's desperately hard to do it. But anyway, yeah, I hope it's been of some interest. Maybe as a super quick summary, what have I loved? I've loved the time. I've loved all this challenge of videos and new skills and extra time for learning. I've missed working and social contact and continual professional development courses that I was scheduled to be on. I've missed not buying a nicer, faster car because I am a young child at heart. I've missed not making more effort to learn the Spanish. I've loved the dog walks with the boy. I've loved just that lack of pressure of climbing hard or worrying about the weather and everything. I can't remember if I said this or not. Every day when I'm working, I open the curtains, I look out the window and see what the weather is, and I've already checked the weather loads of times. In the last couple of months of lockdown, I can tell you how many times I've looked at the weather forecast. Twice. That's it, honestly, twice. And that's been nice. It's not exactly stressing me out when I'm at work thinking about the weather, but it is a constant decision-making element, thinking what crags are we going to go to, what mountains will be out the wind, those kind of thoughts. So it's been nice just not to have to make virtually any decisions the last couple of months. It's been great. What video shall I do? What shall I have for dinner? What day shall I go and do my weekly shop? All those bits and pieces. What do I think effect it will have on the outdoor industry? Like I said, I'm only saying that from my bubble, but I don't see really that much changing in terms of supply and demand. Once this is all returned to some normality, perhaps next year. But that remains to be seen. The market affected most will be that school kind of market in D&V and those kind of areas, I think personally. But these challenges, I just always view them as opportunities, which is why I've really enjoyed these videos, in part because that it's a real challenge to what can I do to further my business. Well, hopefully the videos have been part of that. So challenges are opportunities to me, really. That's how I go about my life. It's really bright now, so that will have undoubtedly affected this thing. So thanks very much for watching. Do fire away with questions as always, in comments or anything. These are just my opinions, that's all these have been. Do find us on Insta, do find us on Facebook. I'm sweating now in this jacket because it's suddenly got really hot. Thanks again for watching. More videos coming up very soon.